to IBNX. IBNXradio.com.
Good Sunday afternoon and welcome to Dynamics of Dialogue. I'm your host, Rebel Queen, and me and my co-host deliberately are here to tickle your intellect and tackle some critical issues along the way. We've got guest co-hosts, good music, and some great conversation. Stay tuned for some dynamic dialogue on IBNXradionetwork.com. Today is Sunday, April 15th, and I got to tell you, I am excited. This is your host, Rebel Queen. Today's topic is empowering Black women. I have got an amazing crew in this studio today. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guests. I have got Erin Robinson of Nappy and Naturally Living. To my right, Erin, you want to say hello?
Yes, happy Sunday.
All right, and next to her is Chanel Williams, certified professional life coach.
Hey.
And your business is Dream Life Coaching?
Yes it is.
All righty. And who do I have next to her but Miss Brianna? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I am the owner of the fashion company, The Goddess Life. I do crochet and I also do skincare products as well.
All right. Now that's what I'm talking about because I need to find out some of that. I'm going to make sure everybody in this room is an entrepreneur. Ain't that something? That's right. That's dope. That is absolutely dope, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. And last but not even least, I have my newest friends, Kristen and Simone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you are owners of, you just launched your podcast, Open Door Conversations, when?
It's going to be launched May 1st.
May 1st, okay. But you do have an episode or two out already, or?
We have them recorded.
Okay, they're recorded, okay.
They're going to officially drop on the 1st of May.
All right. Oh, there's Black women empowerment in here. Yes. This sister over here with the natural hair brand. We got a life coach. We got a sister that's into naturalness. You were just, what was that called again? What was it, the stimulant instead of the caffeine? Macaroot.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said it does what to the libido?
It increases and enhances your libido.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. I need some energy. I don't know if I need my libido to be increased. And then we have our podcast, our fellow podcast owners here. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with more Dynamics of Dialogue.
Right.
Yo, remember back on the bully when cats used to
edition every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Tune into JC Squared on the Air Show featuring Jason, J-Boy, Kerry, Hooper, the Socialite. JC Squared on the Air. Reason. Monday is your new favorite day of the week. Music, special guest, celebrity birthday, the daily, student segment, crazy holiday, and today in hip hop. IBNX Radio and the JC Squared on the Air Show. So much fun you didn't even realize you learned something. This message has been brought to you by Day Ray Media.
When I give you the command to fall out, I want you to fall in on those yellow footprints with your head nod straight forward. You understand me? Because you're listening to Dynamics of Dialogue on IBNXRadioNetwork.com. Your dynamic, your dialogue.
Welcome back to Dynamics of Dialogue. Hey, listen, before we get started, I just want to make a few short announcements. Today is Mika Nicole's For Colored Girls. I'm telling you, I cannot wait. There's a 3 o'clock showing and a 6 p.m. showing at the Atrium in Stone Mountain. You can get tickets at IamMikaNicole.com. This is going to be an amazing play. They were in the studio a couple of weeks ago, talked all about it, and I'm telling you, this is just going to be absolutely amazing. It's not an exact interpretation of the original, and that's what makes it so beautiful, because that's what art is, right? All artists, we really just take art and we reinterpret it, and that's how we get that beauty propagated. That's today at the Atrium. April 17th is Ken Warner's Soul Cafe at Savoy Bar and Grill. The feature is Lauren Doriana. Check her out. Go down there. It's great poetry, great food, great atmosphere. I'm telling you, I've been on the mic there myself. You got to check it out. It's a show that you don't want to miss. I can't tell you that there's ever been a show that Ken Warner has hosted that's ever been a bad show. So you need to go check that out, because there are some great poets right here in Atlanta. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this discussion. And I'm going to kick off with this young lady over here, Miss Erin Robinson. Erin, you want to talk to us a little bit about your brand and what you do?
Yes, I am the CEO of Nappy Naturally and Living. I founded it back in July of 2016 when my hairstylist could not do my hair, guys. I got very angry. Once upon a time, I would wear bundles, beautiful bundles, long bundles, and I paid almost a mortgage for my bundles. And it was imperative that my hair stay slayed at least every 2 weeks. So on this particular day, she was unable to do my hair, so my hair was out. And I got very angry at her because I was like, I have an appointment where I can't get in, not even taking her feelings into consideration that she had a personal family emergency. At that time, I began to sit there for about maybe another hour or so, and I began to ask myself, number one, who told you that your hair was ugly? Number one, who told you was ugly? Because ain't nothing ugly about you. Okay, so as I sat there, I had to explore those feelings that day. Like, why do I feel like I cannot go outside with my hair at its regular state? Like, who told me that I was ugly? And so from there, I came up with Nappy Naturally and Living. At the end of the day, you have to be okay with who you are. Me saying that natural hair ain't for me, how could I say that to myself when I was born that way? How could I say that, I have to have extensions for protective styles, but yet and still my edges are constantly getting snatched out? So what am I really protecting? On top of that, I did a further investigation within maybe 60 days of me just saying Nappy Natural and Living because it had not, flourished as of yet. I had to look around. I have a whole daughter. How can I tell my daughter, well, baby, you're not going to be pretty until you can get a crochet. Well, you can't be pretty until you're old enough to purchase a bundle. I can't do that to her. I have to be a mirror image of her. And in the midst of me finding my own journey, I came up with Gone with the Wind Fabulous because a really, really close colleague of mine, her daughter was struggling as well with her natural hair. And before her daughter had any self-esteem issues, she cut all her hair off to image her daughter, to let her daughter know it's okay. And so from there, I came up with Nappy Naturally and Living. And that's where I'm at today. And my motto is to define who you are individually, embrace who you are extraordinarily, and accept who you are unconditionally. Nappy Naturally and Living is not a movement, it's a lifestyle. Live your life with no regrets.
Wow. Wow. Isn't that something?
Yes.
You know, one of the things that you said that stuck out as most profound to me is that you couldn't allow your daughter to feel like that's what she had to do. She needed the importance of seeing a mirror reflection in you. And I know it's a struggle, right? Because I think I know I've been through it. I was natural. Well, before that, I had Jerry curls. I went from
I did too in the
big
80s.
bush of natural hair, and my
Yes.
mama put them Jerry curls in my hair.
Snap back.
I hated that.
Love my curl.
Yes, honey.
You know, because for me, it was always, that drip. It was just, oh, Lord, I couldn't stand it. And then when people put their hands in it, oh,
Yes.
no, take 'em. But, it is. And then you go through this natural process and going into work sometimes. Who here, okay, can just by a show of hands, because we're on camera, by a show of hands, how many of us has had some stranger walk up to us and touch our hair?
Oh, all the time.
Yes.
Okay, so that's everybody. Right, and then it makes you, even your daughter raising her hand.
Yes.
So it kind of does make you feel like you have, there's a two-side thing to that. What do you say, Chanel?
Yeah, you know what? I wear weave. I do because I like it. Not because I, want to project an image that is not mine. And so I think what's important, what you said, is loving yourself and being really clear about who you are. And if you're clear about who you are, you can make decisions consciously about what you want to do and stand firm in that. So I'm clear about who I am, and I'm clear about what I like and what motivates me. So I can wear my hair naturally, or I can wear my weave, and I'm confident in that.
Okay,
So
either
about
way.
that. Either way, because
Right.
my hair doesn't define me. I'm clear about my values. I know who I am. So,
Right, that is amazing. Anybody else?
Yes, one thing I did do, even with the bundles, I took it a step further. And I don't want to throw no shade, no read, but I love my distributor where I used to get my bundles from. If anybody wants to go to her, it's Tracy's ex, she's good. Nonetheless, I did a further investigation where some of these bundles were coming from. And actually, some of the women in other countries were going to the temples, as if we go to our churches here, when they want to go down to the altar and lay your burdens down and things like that. And so some of these women in other countries were trying to save their marriages. Some of them could not have babies. Some of them were losing their homes. And so they were going into these temples and sacrificing their hair as a sacrifice to the God of their understanding. So I began wondering, because my life was not the best in 2016. However, it's made a complete turnaround. I began to wonder if I was carrying the burden of another woman.
wow.
At the end of the day, she's letting her burdens down, and I'm putting them on my head. So then I began to not only look at my house, I began to look at my culture and the things that we're struggling with every day with the police brutality. Our young men are getting killed by guns and things like that. So I wonder if we're just walking around carrying the burden of other people, the bad luck of other people. So I just encourage those who do wear bundles, pray over them.
Yes,
You never know.
You never know. You got
understand?
something, Brianna? You got something?
No, I'm just all of this that she's saying. It's just I was telling people that, and I do wear hair weave as well.
Yes.
But I was telling them the same exact thing. People don't want to take it to that spiritual level,
Yes.
and they want to say, that spiritual stuff has nothing to do with me. That's you, and it's just like, no, it involves everybody. And if this
Yes.
is something that you do, you need to be conscious about what you're putting on your crown.
Yes.
Ooh.
You know?
And then you have to look at the
Yes.
people who's even touching your crown to put that in.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's just,
Yes.
enough on top of enough. But just that's where I came up with Nappy Natural Living. And I still have my challenges when I'm in the community. Us as sisters, we have a debate sometimes. And I just ask everyone, when you take it out or you hear me speaking and you get a little bit abrasive, explore that feeling. Why do you get abrasive? Why do you feel you have to have what is that? Explore that. Why is that? Because I know where mine came from.
I think a lot of it has to do with the impressions. I think a
Yes.
lot of it has to do, so there's an abrasive feeling, because I do think that we kind of go on a spectrum.
Yes.
So like yourself, Chanel, you're comfortable with it, right? It's
Yes.
not a matter of you can't go outside without
Right.
so there's a difference. And then there are those of us who were stuck in that place like you were at one point that actually felt like, I can't do this.
Yes.
I don't know what are they going to say about me? This affects my image.
Yes.
And then there's, like I talked about before, the pressures that you get at work. I remember when I first started growing my locks in 2007, they're small then. I cut my hair. I was already natural, but you have to cut the ends off, and then they do the twist, and so it tends to be pretty short. And I remember one of my coworkers walking up to me, and he said, "A black male? Well, what is that on your head?" Like, now if I had come back with some, jokes about things that I know every man is insecure about, I'd be wrong.
Yeah.
But those are the types of microaggressions that women get. We get talked about even by our own, and we get policed in that way, and it does make us feel kind of, well, some of us overcome it, some of us still struggle. So I know that you two ladies have been over here a little on the observant side, and I won't get you on camera so we can talk about you.
Yes, and she's Nappy too. Nappy naturally living in the corner.
All of
Yes,
curls.
ma'am.
So let's talk about it. So where do you?
I'm gonna let her go first.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna speak to that point that you just mentioned. Sometimes we put stigmas on our own. And mine comes from even as a child. For as far back as I could remember, I've had relaxed hair. So I don't wear weaves and bundles, but I am relaxed. And there's another stigma that's attached to like black women and having their hair relaxed. And so I went through a transitional period a couple of years ago where I was like, well, who am I relaxing my hair for? And I remember telling my wife, I was like, growing up, my mom used to always say to me, you look ugly when your hair needs to perm. She would say, you need to get a relaxer. You look nice when your hair is relaxed.
Oh, yes.
So all throughout my life, I had this stigma that, if my hair wasn't relaxed, I didn't look nice. I wasn't presentable. If my edges weren't snatched, I was not nice looking. I wasn't presentable. And so I developed my own complexes. And then as an adult, at some point, I was just like, why am I defined by my hair? So I did go through a period where I was like, I'm not relaxing it anymore. And I stopped. And for the better part of a year, I went natural. My hair came out, but I just found that with my hectic schedule, the natural hair was just a lot of work. Because for me personally, I have very, very thick, I'm not slick like this.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And so I was like, because I haven't been doing this, I don't know how to do my natural hair.
Isn't that something? How
I don't
we've gotten
know
away?
what to do with it. And so I was like, relaxing for right now is just easier. So when I went back, it wasn't a matter of because I thought I looked nicer. It was, what, I'm doing this for manageability. Okay. So it had a reason, but I had to go through that process of, and my wife, she was so supportive. She just used to cry sometimes, and she was like, why do you think you're ugly when your hair needs to relax? She's like, you're not ugly. And I was like, well, I was always told I look nice when my hair is relaxed, Yeah.
And, but, and I'll say that because I don't know if I mentioned, I have West Indian in my background. My grandmother used to say to me, if she didn't like my hair, if it wasn't straightened, it was a straightening comb, not so much the perm, because thank God, my mama had 2 boys before me. But she used to say, your head is knotty like a sheep's behind. And how did that make me feel about myself? Like, wow, ain't that supposed to be, why? That's my hair.
Which is why I love the point over here, because she talked about making that change to be the example for your daughter, right?
Yes.
So if we don't be the example for our children, we are the model example for our children. So we project certain things onto them even when they don't deserve it. So you didn't deserve what you were taught or what you were told about yourself.
Yes.
But you get clear and know your motivations and why you do certain things. You can show up as your best self for your children.
Absolutely. See, I'm already excited. Wait, so okay, I'm gonna let you go, and then I want to ask her to talk about something real quick because I'm feeling some relief. I feel a better sense of understanding because, I don't know that I've ever had anybody say that to me, that you didn't deserve to hear that. I think a lot of us need to hear that, even as adults, because I think when we process things out of those, we don't realize we can be adults and still process things with that child mind because that's what we had.
Absolutely.
So speak what you have to say, sister.
Well, for me, honestly, I've never really had a complex about my hair. For me, it was the opposite in the sense of, that term, girl, you got that good hair. And then I kept hearing that growing up. I was, from the little kid, oh, can we take her, and they would take me and play with my hair because my hair texture. So for me, I constantly heard, oh, you got that good hair, you got that good hair. But I used to relax my hair because my mom didn't know how to manage my hair. I started doing my hair from when I was 7. And she relaxed my hair when I was maybe 4 because she didn't know how to manage my curls. And then I started relaxing my own hair at 9, 10, 11. I started relaxing my own hair because I felt that I needed to relax my hair to make it manageable, to make it easier. And I was like trying to figure out why I had to relax my hair. And I was like, maybe my hair is just difficult because when I was 2, my dad cut all of my hair off. So I even to this day, I asked him how come. He's like, well, I couldn't manage it. I was like, you don't want to put the effort. And I mean, our hair is soft. You throw some water on there, boom, it does what it wants to do. Anyway, so I started to relax my own hair. And then I went to someone when I was, I think I was 16. I moved to the States. And this lady, she's a hairstylist. And she was just playing in my hair one day. And I hadn't relaxed my hair for like 6 months. So you could see the new growth. And she's like, oh, girl, you see your curls? And I was like, I mean, I got curls. She's like, I didn't know that. You know what we should do? You should go natural. I said, I can't. She's like, why? And then we sat there. She's like, you know what? I'm going to just cut all your hair off, and I'm going to dye it red, and you should go natural. So I went. She cut my hair all off bald, and I started crying. And I was like, oh, my word. And, of course, because I was chubby, I had chubby cheeks, bald head, was not looking good. But I kept natural up until that entire time. And everyone would say, you had good hair, you had good hair. And then I used to ask, like, what's good hair? My hair is not healthy, but why are you saying good hair? Then the Chris Rock movie came out. And I was like, that's what it is. It's not good hair. I don't have good hair. I have a different texture. It's more manageable. Yes, I don't have to work as harder as other people. Honestly, I could throw some water on it and be done, but I didn't, after that moment, I never had an issue with my hair anymore. To me, my hair, the way it was, curly or not, that was it. I still didn't know what to do with it, honestly, because I guess I felt like I wish my hair was thicker. I wish it was more, I used to say, maybe if it was a little bit more coarser. And maybe I could work it like how the other girls do it. And I'm like, no, this is mine. I'm going to put gel in it. I'm going to not put gel in it. I'm going to just...
We have options.
Yeah. But after, in workplaces and stuff like that, people define me by my hair. I never really struggled with that part. It was just that whole... growing up a little bit, my mom and dad making me somewhat feel like we need to change a little bit so we know how to work with it.
Yes.
Well, now it's me and I'm working with it. Oh my goodness, sorry. And I'm working with it, so.
Yes. Well, listen, listen, this is such an amazing discussion. I appreciate it. So we're going to go to break. I'm getting the sign from our little helper back there. We're going to go to break, and we come right back. We're going to come back with Miss Chanel Williams.
Right. What's up? You are listening to Dynamics of Dialogue on IBNX Radio. It's your dynamic, your dialogue. It's Mad Queen of Mad Queen Media, making sure you're checking in.
IBNX Radio Network.
to IBNX. IBNXradio.com. The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey.
Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. It is.
It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
Hi, this is Marilyn Pierce, otherwise known as Swagger M, and you are listening to D of D, Dynamics of Dialogue, on the IBNXRadioNetwork.com.
Welcome back to Dynamics of Dialogue, and I want to announce a very special guest on the phone. My good friend, longtime friend. We've known each other since our kids was babies. My good friend Keisha Perry is on the line to talk about this really important event. I don't even want to spoil it. Keisha, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much for having me, Ty.
Yes, I'm so glad that you were able to come on. So tell us about what you're doing with the beautiful ones.
Hey, yes, I'm so excited about this event we have coming up. Beautiful Ones was created in 2009 with myself and Tony Jackson, and we just felt like we needed to have something for ladies to inspire, to love, to uplift unity amongst women. So we started this movement. It's a movement. So we want all the ladies to come out to our event, which is next Sunday. It's Discovering Your Unapologetic Woman. It's going to be at the Doubletree Hotel on La Vista Road in Tucker, Georgia. And Chanel L. Williams, she's a certified professional life coach who is going to be putting on this great event. And we really, really need all the women to come out because it's going to be life-changing. Chanel is an awesome speaker. It's an event you don't want to miss. And Chanel's actually in your studio to talk about this event. So, Chanel, if you want to speak on the event coming up next Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I feel your energy, Keisha.
Yes, yes.
I am ready.
So as she mentioned, the workshop next week is called Discovering Your Unapologetic Woman, right? And the way that we came to this, so Keisha and Tony have been working on Beautiful Ones for a few years now, and I just heard about what they were doing and said, hey, listen, I've got some material. I'd love to host a workshop for you guys because it's a part of my ministry and my work, my life's purpose to help women discover themselves and really lean into the power of who they are, their strengths, their values, become clear about those things, what motivates them, so they can stand flat-footed and confident with their head high and their crown straight and really live their best life. And so we are going to get together next week, Sunday the 22nd at the Doubletree, as Keisha mentioned, and it's going to be life-changing work. So we're going to do some soul-searching around our brands, our values, our strengths. What are the things that you do that no one else can do? How are you using those things? How are you using those strengths, right? Are you leveraging them, or are you allowing them to just exist? What are the things that you want to get better at, that you've put off and you haven't quite figured out how to start? What's your first step? We're going to help people do that. We're going to help people move out of their way so they can learn how to live their best lives. And so I'm super, super excited about it. We've gotten a lot of energy and interest. And so we want to invite the women that are listening, the women in the room, please join us, come out. This is a movement to create a lifestyle, a movement to create a lifestyle to help uplift our women, empower them, and help them live their best lives.
That is so awesome. Listen, where can people get tickets?
So Keisha and Tony has established a event page, as well as the Beautiful Ones Cash App. If you guys have Square Cash, you just go to Beautiful Ones, and that's how you register for the event. There's some pre-work that is required because we want you to spend some time reflecting and actually asking people, what are 2 to 3 words that you use to describe me? so that you can get some perspective. You want to look inward, you want to look outward to find out, how do people see you? Do they see you the way that you see yourself today? And if so, great. What can you do to continue to build on that? And if not, what's the contrast? What do you have to do differently so that you can show up the way that you want to be seen? So you need the pre-work in order to get ready for the workshop. But the Beautiful Ones on Cash App is the way that you find it.
Okay. And and the ticket prices are, like you said, there's an event page too?
Yes. There's an event page, and Keisha has the information on the event page.
Keisha, when you talk about that real quick?
Yes, you could go to www.beautifulones.net, or you could give me a call at 678-856-0524 or 404-259-4363. You could also pay by Cash App or pay at the door. We would like you to pay in advance so we could get the pre-work to you, because you have to put the work in. So that's why we're trying to get people to pre-register for this great event.
Wow. Well, I want to be there, but it's at 3 o'clock. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, our show is from 1 to 3, but I take it, are you going to have other opportunities?
Yes, and Tony Jackson's actually going to tell you about a few other events that are coming up.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, listen, I am so super excited for this event. I mean, I hope that we all can get a chance. I hope that you ladies are interested. I mean, wow, I know I want to be there, and I would love to for this to come around again, because I think I need it. I know the areas where I do get in I think we all get in our way.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it's just about being present to that, being cognizant of who you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit to just sit with that. But that's how
Right.
you get to know yourself. And you don't get to know yourself. You don't like yourself if you don't spend that time getting to know yourself. So I am super excited about that. And so as we continue our conversation, one of the questions I want to pose here is, what are some of the greatest challenges that face us as Black women? Because I think that we have lots of things, all of us, like we were talking about on break, and particularly with this event even coming up. We have lots of things that get in our way, lots of things are challenges for us. And what are the things that we can do to overcome them? We may talk about problems on this show, but my goal, like I said on break, is to always stay solution focused. Because if we're not talking about solutions, then we're just flapping in the wind. So, question, what are some of the greatest challenges that face us as Black women? And we're talking about our real experiences. Anybody got something you want to share?
Well, I had a personal experience because I'm an entrepreneur, but I also drive on the side with Lyft just to be able to support myself while I'm pursuing my endeavors. And I had a passenger this week, and it was really interesting. She was a young Black girl. She may have been about 24. And what was interesting about her was she was so excited about everything. She was excited about my hair. She was excited about my car. She was excited about the fact that I had just bought a home. And one of the questions she asked me, she was like, "How did you do that?" And I was like, "How did I do that?" And then I realized when she started talking that one of the challenges that we have is that when we accomplish certain things and figure out certain things, there are so many others that just don't know how to do it. Things that we may take for granted. We may think that, oh, that's something simple. There are so many in our community that just don't have the training. They don't have the coaching. They don't, for example, something like credit. No one coaches them on how to have good credit. What are the things that you need to do in order to qualify or make yourself a good candidate to do things like eventually buying a house, buying a car? And so they're coming up and they're young. And she told me, she was like, I have 2 apartment collections and a bunch of credit card debt on my credit. And so my credit is terrible. Well, no one ever educated her and said to her, well, these are the steps that you need to take as you move into adulthood to make yourself credit ready, so that when you decide to start a business or you decide to buy a home or you decide to buy a car, you can accomplish these things. And so I took that entire drive and I gave her actionable steps of what she could do to get in a position where she was empowered. And she said to me, Simone, I really appreciate you, because no one has ever taken the time to explain that to me. She whipped out a pen and she started writing down the steps that I was giving to her. And so I think one of the challenges that we face as a community of Black women is sometimes we don't grab our sister by the hand and pull her up and say, you know, I did it this way, these are the steps, and you could do it too, follow me. Yes. And when someone approaches us and says, well, how did you accomplish it? It's a big secret. Oh, you know, I just worked hard. I just worked hard. What else did you do?
I think it comes from fear, too. Like with African-American women, it comes from fear, because at the end of the day, even with branding, I don't care if it's like 5,000 t-shirt companies in this room, it has nothing to do with mine.
That's right.
And I feel like we could all, you know, get to the top. But unfortunately, what I've experienced is that once people see that you're trying to do something, they'll be kind of nervous, don't want to tell you, because they're afraid that you may get ahead of them. That you may, if you got one person such as Beyonce, who just did an awesome video that's going viral on Facebook right now, she's a billionaire all by herself, which lets me know there's enough money in the world in which I live that each one of us at this table can get a couple thousand over a couple thousand without even feeling like, oh God, she's doing an event next week. Well, let me not. We got to get away from that. Yeah. If we just all come together, and on top of that, they already call us liquid money because our dollar only rotates for 6 hours, y'all. 6 hours, the black dollar rotates. That's enough for us to get paid, get our hair done, and then where does it go?
It depends on where you're going to get your hair done.
Right, 6 hours. You know? But I mean, we would just work together more so. I just feel like it's a part of our barriers that we are afraid that someone is going to do better or someone's going to get a better shine. And we all have enough light to shine, you know?
I agree. I feel that way in a sense, but I try to have the concept of people like to have their fists, their hands closed. Yes, no one can take anything from you if your hand is closed, but you can't get anything either. If your hand is closed, I can't take anything from you. You hold on to it, but other experiences, opportunities, blessings, movement, nothing can come in. So you are holding yourself back because that's your fear, but you got to have your hand open sometimes. You have to have it open. That means opening sometimes does mean sharing. Either you share your time, you share some of your knowledge, you share your skills to just help. You could just share.
Without hitting somebody over the head with a fee for $5.99. I sit down with you and give you that.
You were very right.
That is funny.
You know, one of the things I think one of our struggles is what I call the dichotomy of the black woman. And dichotomy because we have to be, in some instances, two different people.
Ooh, yes, we do.
Who we have to be at work and then who we have to be in our communities. And there's such a contrast there in many instances. And, you know, we have to wear these roles and be these different people. And how do you ever accomplish everything that you want to if you're living in two different worlds? And so being our authentic selves is critical. In order to really break through some of those barriers that we have right now and some of those struggles that we continue to have. And I think that's with the soul searching and continuing to figure out who we are. That's the center of us being able to really remove some of those obstacles and those barriers so that we can help each other. I think a lot of times there's a lack of clarity for us, so we're not really clear, so we can't really bring people along with us because we don't even know where we're going. We got to know where we're going in order to help others come along on the journey.
Ooh, that is so important. Listen, Ms. Brianna.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to pose that question to you. What are some from your perspective? Because like we talked about the other day, you know, I am so far about what you just said about how we don't. No, I'm sorry, that was you. We're talking about how we don't pass off information. We don't, you know, we get ahead and we don't share that information with people that come after us. And for you and your age demographic, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to connect, because I know I can learn from you and you can learn from me. Because we were just saying last night, there is shit that people did not tell me that happens when you age as a woman. And it's woman specific. Right. You know, you don't know that. So just tell me, from your perspective, what are some of the greatest challenges you face?
I can speak on personally with my experience, especially with moving out here. When I first came to the Atlanta area, I was 17. I was just progressing into a young woman coming from high school. It was my senior year. And so it was a bit of a culture shock because I came from an area that was predominantly what they would call country folks. So, you know, coming from 50% white, 50% black, and then moving to an area that was all black. and it was a bit of a culture shock for me. And so also learning things that I didn't know about myself and my body, and how to take care of my body and how to take care of myself, and how to interact with people in healthy relationships, and how all of this stuff really molds your future in life. And if it's not done properly, it can hold you back. You know, and me being 27 now, I'm meeting so many young girls that was me at 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 21, when the years where I was struggling with really getting into who I was as a young woman, and finding myself, and not being confused about, is this how I am, or is this how I am, or am I this type of person, or do I fit in this category or this box? Like, just being authentically myself. And being comfortable in my skin. I'm seeing so many young women that's dealing with that. So now looking back on it, I feel like the issue in the Black community, especially with women, is that a lot of us weren't taught certain things growing up. And it's not their fault, because they didn't know. And this goes back from generations, you know. This goes back to grandma and great grandma and great aunt, and they didn't know, you know. So somewhere in our family it has to end, and we have to be that one that's going to give that knowledge to the ones that's coming up, that's watching us, you know, the young men and the young women.
Right. And you know, and I appreciate that. And again, I appreciate even more, because that's the premise of this show. The premise of Official DFD is being your authentic self. I'm an educated woman, so if I come out with some ratchet, some nerd, some whatever, it should be okay. I shouldn't have to be a superwoman. I shouldn't have to live under all of these tight constraints just to be who I am. So this is even about full self-empowerment and being okay with who you are. We're going to take a break, and when we come right back, we're going to have some more great discussion.
Life comes at us fast. One thing that gives us comfort is knowing that someone is there when you need them. Well, at Pleasant Hills Insurance, that's our promise to our clients. Call 770-910-7460 today, or visit our website at pleasanthillsinsurance.com for your free, no obligations quote on retirement and life insurance. Many of the large agencies have turned their back on the retired workforce. At Pleasant Hills Insurance, if others can't qualify you, very often we can. Pleasant Hills Insurance proudly provides options for preconditions. So call 770-910-7460 or visit pleasanthillsinsurance.com today for your free, no obligations quote on retirement and life insurance. Pleasant Hills Insurance. We're here when you need us.
welcome back to Dynamics of Dialogue. And I was just kind of grooving with that, that little music that was going on. I'm telling you, we were just discussing what are some of the greatest issues that affect Black women, and what are some of the things we can do to conquer it. So one of the things we talked about, a couple of the things we talked about was managing life, managing finances, body issues, being authentic with yourself. You know, one of the biggest things I think that was a concurrent theme amongst us all is information. You know, stuff be going on in our life, and you know, there's nobody that says, well, this is what it is, and this is, you know, well, let me show you how to do this. And a lot of this stuff we have to figure it out. And I think that while we're in the process of figuring it out, that's where we get into our places where we make mistakes, which are okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It has to be okay for us to make mistakes, because that's how we learn. And that's how we grow. We don't grow if we don't make mistakes. And I think in our community, because of our past, a mistake, well, even now, today, a mistake just existing can get you killed, right? We just saw the video of the two Black men sitting in this daggone Starbucks, right? Just sitting there. So we know, but I think that we have to still be present to the fact that there is much that we propagate amongst ourselves. And so if we can get to a place where we can start having these open discussions and making it okay. I just had the discussion the other day. I mean, yes, I know lots of people see me as a superwoman, and I don't want to be a superwoman all the time. I can't. That'll kill me. That shit's a trap. I'm sorry. That's a trap. That is a trap. And even that Black girl magic. I know we got magic, but come on now. Okay. Come on now. All right. I'm just saying.
Sometimes it's just a spark, not even a flame.
Just a little bit. Right.
The wand needs to rest sometimes.
Okay. That's right. The wand needs to rest. We need to recharge our battery. So what are some of the things you ladies do to recharge your battery? And I want to, because I know you got some good stuff, Brianna. Yes, you do. Self-care queen.
One of the things that I am very imperative about, and I always tell people, just simply taking a bath as a woman. That can relax you and put you at the right mental spot. Get you some candles. Get you something to put in the bath that smells good. Get your oil burner. Play you some soft music. You stressed out. You're going through. You need answers. You know, you sit down. You pray, and then you meditate to get the answers. You know, so running a nice bath for me has always been beneficial, especially when I got a lot going on and I need to clear that clutter out of my head. And I've been praying and praying and praying. I'm just like, God, what's going on? Why am I not seeing the results that I want to see? Because I haven't took the time to sit down, relax, and listen. You know, so that's how I really open up myself and open up my spaces by, you know, running me a nice bath.
I've always liked that. But, you know, there's one thing that you said that really stuck out to me, is that you pray and then you meditate to get those answers. Because you can pray and send everything up that you want to, but if you don't create that stillness for yourself, you can't, unless it's me, I don't know, I can't hear when there's a whole bunch of noise going on, right? Right. So getting into that place of stillness is where the calming effect takes place, and you can receive those answers.
And sometimes people don't understand as well that the noise can sometimes be in here.
Oh, yes.
And you got to calm that down in here to get those answers, and a lot of people disregard that factor, and everything around me is such this and that, and this person this and that person this, and sometimes it's honestly you. You know, we gotta be open with ourselves and say, this is me, and I need to take some time to reevaluate.
Right. Boundaries. Boundaries. Chanel, you were going to say something?
Yeah, you know what, for me, journaling. So I love to write because it's a way of expression for me. It's a way for me to get it out of here, inside of me, and give words and life and meaning to it, to process it. A lot of times I find myself overwhelmed by just the day-to-day, everything that you got going on, being a mother, a wife, a career woman, all these things. So I have to have my quiet time, create my space, have a bath or whatever that is, 30 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes a week or a day, to just journal, just to write. How am I feeling? How am I processing? What do I want to accomplish this week? What did I do that I love? What did I do that I didn't quite do so well, that I want to do differently? And it's just about self-reflection and self-accountability for me, and really being one with myself.
I like that. What seems to be a unified theme with everything that you ladies are saying, it all seems to involve stopping. Because in order for you to take a bath and process and pray and listen, and in order for you to journal, you got to stop. sometimes we're so caught up and we're just going and we're going and we're going and we're overwhelmed and we can't figure stuff out and we can't get out of our own way. And sometimes for me, I literally physically have to stop everything that I'm doing. I go home where it's quiet and it's just me, and I just let just let everything just stop. I can't work right now. I can't talk right now. I can't help right now. I think for me, the person that I've learned that I am and I've accepted, I resented for a while, is I think I'm a fixer. So a lot of times, especially when it comes to other friends and family members and they're going through stuff and they're struggling, and I'm the fixer. I'm there just fixing the problem, making it right, making it okay. And even sometimes we get caught up in doing that, doing stuff for our kids, our spouses, and we're just the fixers. And I think that's another black girl magic thing. We just make everything okay. And it's like, who's making sure we're okay? Yes. So for us, sometimes we just need to stop everything, shut everything out, and yes, be selfish. Steal that moment for yourself and figure it out. And I had to learn that, and you know, me and my wife, we talk about that all the time. It's a selfish, it may seem selfish, but sometimes you just got to be selfish.
That's what you have to. And it means that you're going to have some people not like you. Some people get pissed off. Because they're expecting you to be something that you're not able to be. You know, and at the end of the day, friends are not your therapists. They're not your fixers. They're, you know, you can extend but so much. Right. And at the end of the day, you still have to have something for yourself. I'm awful with that, being a fixer. But the thing I have to be present to is that's where I have to draw stronger boundaries in my life and not resist that urge to fix. I have to say sometimes
because sometimes I insert myself. I'm like, you have a problem, I'll fix it. You know, and I just have to be like,
I'm the wife in the back end.
And I think it's because, you know, we see as black women, right? And I know all of us don't see it this way, which is, and I think sometimes I could be a little idealistic. I'm accustomed to sisters like you, that you see a sister suffering and you at least you okay? Something. I'm not used to the ones that just pulling and taking. And so, but you have to guard yourself, and it's ultimately your job to guard your heart, your mind, and that comes with value in your space, and it comes with valuing what you have. And now that I'm getting used to it, ooh, I love it. Ooh, and you know who I learned about really valuing my solitude from? That's what I was doing from my son. Wow. Valuing my solitude, and I'm telling you, to compete, he and I can sit in the house all day and just be present and not even be interacting. Nothing wrong, but we just in our own solitude. Right. And when you love that space. Yeah, you got to be a dope person to compete with all of that.
Yeah, you do.
And you know what I've learned over time, that is a lot of people will try to tear you down for valuing your solitude and try to tell you that you're wrong for valuing your solitude. Why you didn't pick up the phone when I called? How you didn't know I was just relaxing?
Right.
I know you was at home. You was on Instagram. You was on Facebook. You was posting pictures.
Why are you stopping me like that?
In the mood to have
but it's my phone. It's my phone bill. I put those apps on my phone that I paid for.
Right.
What you used to say, baby? My phone is for me.
Yes. It's for my convenience.
That's what you used to say. My phone is for me and my convenience. Yeah. And I'm okay if I'm the worst person. If you need help, if you need to reach somebody, don't call Chrissy. All of our friends know.
They do.
Don't call Chrissy. Call Simone, because Simone is going to be there. And once we're together, for some reason, we're in a bubble. That's what they say. I don't need my phone, but my phone is for my convenience. And if you choose not to answer it, that is your right.
That's right.
Especially if you pay your bill.
Right. And don't you think that's a big boundary violation for somebody to watch you on social media and say, well, I was waiting for you to read, and I seen you on Facebook.
That's rude to me. That is so rude to me.
Yes, when we don't, we have to, and that's the one thing. Now that if there is something that'll really make me get you in a bad space with me, when I am trying to care for myself, the fight it took me to get the courage to value myself and then care for myself, actually act on it, and then you want to stop me? Yo, you can kick rocks.
Yes. Dirty side.
I see a lot of black women that way. feel very. What's the word?
can't with her. This is the clown over here.
Well, as far as my self-care goes, I've heard the bubble baths and stuff, but I'm a little bit more edgy because I feel like a lack of booty will make you moody. So, for my self-care, I have to make sure the queen gets an encore performance at least twice a week to keep me dancing to the beat of my own drum.
I love that. Wait. We gotta rewind that. I just want to make sure y'all heard what she said.
Yeah.
She said a lack of booty will make you moody.
Yeah, she got some that walks around and their shoulders kind of be up on their ears and they kind of look their face kind of be kind of. I don't want that look. See, I fight hard every day to get that look, y'all. I don't want that look. So that's my self-care. That's why I'm able to say happy Sunday, happy Monday. And I got people who say every day ain't happy, but you have to find a way to make one. And that's my way. And right now I'm 7 and 7. Happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I'm gonna put that on the show.
I can't. But
I know.
Yes.
But you know that's what I love about her because it's always that energy. Always.
Yes.
Always. That
Just
whole
keeping it
2 week
real.
training. She just kept me going, boy. That whole.
Yes.
She's still going crazy over here crying.
You gotta try it. Somebody's at the problem like, maybe I should try it. Try it, honey. Try it, sir. All y'all try.
Yes, right.
Oh yeah, the macaroon. Yes. It comes in powder form, y'all.
So
Put it in a
Brianna,
little
wait,
liquid and
talk
shake it up.
about that macaroon again. Do you make it where you get it? Do you make that stuff?
No, I actually get it from the herb shop. I like to get it from Seven Nanda over by Little Five.
Little 5 points.
I get it by bulk. It is expensive.
Okay.
But you only need a very little bit of it, you know, just a little teaspoon. It's fine. Not too much. You don't want to take too much of it because it get in your system and you get the
holy dance. Chandelier.
Get you, thinking about life, reconsidering everything. So yes,
Are you
if you're not
talking
trying
from
to have
experience?
kids, also, if you're not trying to be fertile, don't do it.
Okay.
Don't take it.
Oh man, that is too funny.
Right.
That is too funny. Wow. Okay, so we talked about self-care. But wait a minute. You said your self-care was stopping, Simone, but what do you do when you stop? You reflect?
You have to understand how important stopping is.
Okay, well,
because my mind literally goes 1,000,000 miles per minute.
Okay.
I think about everything. I'm a chronic researcher. I'm on my phone, and anything that comes to my mind, I gotta look it up. I gotta figure it out. Constantly solving problems and trying to run a business and I'm always. So for me, just stopping is
Okay, so we got a few more seconds to go before we go on break. It looks like we're just having a little bit of technical challenges back there. So as we were saying, talking about self-care and what are the things we do. I know some of the things I like to do for self-care. I don't know that that's really productive. As I realized as it was about to come out of my mouth, but one of the things I do to self-care is create. Sometimes it can be a poem. Sometimes it can be a big project that will make it really give me more work to do. So, ready for break? Okay, so we're going to talk about that in more detail. Now we're going to go to break.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Seletica of ISM Culture, and you're listening to Dynamics of Dialogue with Rebel Queen on IBNX.
Hi, I'm Rebel Queen.
Now deliberately, we are the hosts of Dynamics of Dialogue.
Our show inspires critical thought and great dialogue.
We discuss a variety of topics from science to activism.
We're here to tickle your intellect and tackle some social justice issues along the way.
So we've got fantastic guests. We're going to have some really cool indie music as well. Tune in every Sunday from 1 to 3
on IBNXRadioNetwork.com. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Dynamics of Dialogue. And we were just having some great conversation in here. You know, this is during break, and we had to, you know, connect and network and share, you know, so we can follow each other on social media.
For free, too, y'all.
That's right. This has been a great time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yes, I'm so glad that you all are enjoying the conversation, because that's what this is about, right? This is about connecting. This is about sisters supporting each other. And at the end of the day, that's what we do. That's what we do. So I want to go ahead and go back to you a little bit, Erin, because earlier on you talked about the spiritual aspect. I think the two of you, Brianna and Erin, we talked about the spiritual aspect of it. So we've talked about our self-care. We've talked about all of these other things. And, you know, and I'm not even talking about religion. I'm talking about the spirituality that all of us share, because I think regardless of whatever religion we observe, I think all of us acknowledge some kind of higher being, right, in what we do. And one of the things you talked about was how some of these women you became aware of, they take this hair when they get the weave, and they're like taking a burden off of themselves by laying it on the altar, and then we take that on.
Yes.
You know, and that was extremely representative, and it makes me wonder, what are some of the things when we think about the burdens that we carry on? It's one thing to engage in self-care, right, and to do these activities that help us heal, but then what about the burdens, and how do we alleviate those? You know, because that's internal work. That's not going to be external self-care. So what kind of internal work do we engage in? Brianna mentioned meditation.
Well, actually, what I did, my daughter was about maybe 18 months, I would say 19 months, and my mama, she always made me go on a fast at the house where we couldn't eat fish except for on a Friday or something. You know. And so I'm a little bit selfish, so I never, you know, really, as I grew up, I never really fasted because I couldn't understand, like, how you going to have me in a congregation of hundreds of thousands of people doing something at the same time. See, I need the God in my understanding to hear me, you understand? So I went on a fast, and I had investigated what a fast was, and it says basically you're supposed to let go of something that has a stronghold on you, you know. And so I love to eat. I used to weigh $375, no shame. I was about $25 from being $4 even. And so I decided to put down meat for my fast. And they say you ain't supposed to say nothing, and so I got real quiet about it. And when I began fasting, a lot of things just took place in my life. And then they said I could understand how people would fast and then go back. They would stop fasting and go back doing the same thing, where they go 40 days to 40 nights without eating a certain thing or doing the same thing, but they go right back to the behavior. And so during my fasting period, I began to ask God, the God of my understanding for things, and he began to reveal himself. And even as I sit here right now, I don't want to lose, me personally, I just don't want to lose the connection with him. So I'm afraid that if I eat a piece of meat, that I lose my connection with him. So it started off just as me just trying to get a better understanding of who I was internally, like she was explaining earlier. So that's what I did on my spiritual journey. And in the midst of that, this is where it's brought me to. And a lot of good things have happened, a lot of bad things have happened. But one thing I do know is myself today, you know. So that's what I did for my spiritual healing and keeping me together. I just don't eat meat, not necessarily saying that I don't miss lamb or a little pork chop. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. A little, you know, with the white bread. You know how I'm sorry, Lord. But no, I just every day, I just wake up like, you know, as I keep going, I'm like, you know, God, we got this, and I can't eat no meat. You can't leave me, so I can't eat. So that's what I do for myself and my spirituality.
All right. All right. All right. What about you, Brianna? What's that look for? You got some. She got something to say.
I can relate to everything that
you got me, girl.
That's kind of how my journey started off as well. I started getting into fasting, and from there, God started to reveal Himself to me, and a lot of things that were going on in my life started to become a lot clearer. I started to see things in people that I didn't like, and I had to let them people go.
Ain't that something?
I started to see things in family members that I didn't care for. I had to separate myself or distance myself from that. And from there, it's been a journey, and I've just been opening up to so many different things I never knew anything about. And from there, I've also been enlightening the people around me about the things that I've been learning and knowledge and stuff. So one of the things that I came into was healing my chakras. And balancing my chakras, and that's something that I've been doing for the past couple years. It's definitely been an experience and a journey, and I'm definitely not done doing it, and I'm still at the bottom level, which means I'm still getting to that point where I'm acknowledging things from the past traumas, and I'm coming to terms with some things that I've done, and just saying and holding myself accountable for it.
I did
and holding my healing accountable for myself to do, not for other people to do. It's not my mom's job. It's not my dad's job. It's not my significant other's job to heal what I got going on. I've just been healing myself and trying to love myself and doing the what's it called, affirmations in the mirror, and eating the veggies and the fruit colors to to balance the codes,
to balance your diet out,
right, and to heal different things, and doing the chants and the mudras and all different type of stuff I've been getting into, and the crystal healing and the healing with essential oils, and just all types of stuff, and just even with connecting with people and opening up to them, and they say, "Oh, I'm on the same journey. I'm doing the same thing," or they've been enlightening me about things and saying, "Oh, well, did you know this, or did you know that, or how?" And then I'm googling, I'm getting on stuff, and I'm opening up. I'm like, "Oh, okay," and getting into more stuff. So it's definitely been a journey.
So talk about that beautiful crystal you were wearing around your neck. I've been eyeballing that the whole time you've been here.
I'm trying to figure out how you get it.
It's an organite, and it basically helps.
I'm sorry, it's called what?
Organite.
Organite, okay.
And it basically helps with cause see, I got so many different crystals. It helps with I believe this one helps with speaking my truth.
Ooh.
And being grounded within myself, and being able to realize when I come into situations just like this, sometimes I get tongue-tied when I'm trying to explain myself, and I'm just like, I don't really know how to articulate myself well. I don't do well with that. I get a little tongue-tied. This helps with remembering that whatever comes out, this is who I am. And there's nothing to try to hold back from saying. It's nothing to try to, like, no, say it this way or do it that way. How it comes out is how it comes out, and that's authentically me, and that's okay.
Girl, you are solid as that rock, honey.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
We all
Push
here
through.
like, yes. And that's so I just
She made us all sit up. We like,
right. And so I just want to observe this 1 minute. I want to give this minute some credence, because again, I've heard it said to me several times in the past few weeks about how millennials this and millennials that. And you mind if I share yours? This sister is 27 years old. I'm 47. She's 20 years my junior, and she's giving me fire, all that life today. She's giving all of us this life.
no parole.
And with no parole. But it's true. So there's lots of things that we can learn, because I think some of the things, the ideas that our generation have grown up with was very much rooted in Black women. We're sacrificial, and we give, right, Simone? We give, and we're fixers, and we do, and then we don't, there's this much in the pot. We'll fix everybody else's plate and save ours for last. We not in that, and this younger generation is all about that self-care. I mean, and if a lot of us, I think, push back against that, and what you spoke about earlier, valuing each other, and that those systems don't exist within our communities if Black women didn't support them. And I know why we do, because that's the way we were raised, but at the end of the day, we got to set ourselves free. We do. We do. And you also mentioned about chakras. Now, I have chakras. I have a meditation bowl, and it's a heart chakra. And my understanding is that I know it's a heart chakra because when I ring this bowl, it's like maybe steel. It's painted, and it has a wooden handle that goes with it. And when you ring that handle around it, the inside of it gives you this vibration. And so when I do that, I feel the vibration right here in the center of my chest, and it is so. It's piercing. The sound vibrations, those, and it's a scientific thing that certain sound waves can affect you in a certain way. So I do that. I'll burn sage. Someone
sage
told me
is
about
good.
that. Oh my goodness, I need some sage bundles right now.
I got some. It'll clear your house out too.
Woo!
All evilness.
Yes, it does. I mean,
It
yes,
will.
that's exactly. I think Native Americans use that in a practice they call smudging.
Yep.
And that's for purification and cleansing of evil spirits and things like that, and resetting it. And it resets the whole energy, and it works instantly. When you light that sage. I mean, I could just.
Because actually, I did it for my housewarming. I had a housewarming party. You know, before you move to your home, you're supposed to, clean up your house and stuff. And I did do the sage, and I was devastated because I had invited a lot of people, but only like 3 people came. But then I realized, Aaron, you saged your house.
Oh!
Which means, well, whoever they were supposed to be there, they weren't supposed to come.
They wasn't supposed to
They
come.
weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
So I had to be okay with that.
That's deep.
I was surprised. I was
That's
like, well,
very
what?
deep.
So you check it out. And be careful, like she said earlier, be careful with people when they're removed, you have to be okay with that. I wasn't okay with that. I'm like, that's my cousin. That's my so-and-so. They all had titles to me, But you have to be okay when be careful. Like the sage at your own risk. Because it does, it works. Okay, it will clear the house out.
And I was just getting ready to add in, but before she said that, you have to be weary too of people that get annoyed by sage. There's some people out there that it irritates their soul. They will curse you out when you light that sage. They'll get the cussing and busting like, oh, it's that smell. I don't like it. Put it out. Oh, it stinks. It's just take note. Okay.
Yeah, right. You take note of that. Yeah, and that goes back to what you said earlier, because you said we do these practices. People fast, and then we go right back to the same behavior. Right?
I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it.
What is the purpose of that?
They be like, ooh, I can't wait till the midnight hours. I'm gonna eat me a piece of chicken. Yeah. So I'm like, how you gonna just give it up and just do God like that? Like, bro, I'll be back at you next year. I still don't understand. I might mess up, because we're not perfect. Right. No. But I just never understood how you can start something like that and then you go back to doing after it's done. Like, I just think that it should be
It should be a progression.
I think it probably goes to motive. Like, it depends on what the motive is for starting it. So if you start something and you have a clear motive about it for yourself, and you have a clear vision of what you're trying to accomplish for yourself, then of course you're going to be more determined to stick with it. But if people start things for the wrong reasons, which a lot of people do, and their motive isn't clear, maybe they're starting it because there's pressure. Or because this is what's supposed to do, or because this is what is expected of me. But is it a personal journey for them? Well, maybe not. So for people, they may be at a different point. And see, this is another thing that I'm big about. Respecting people wherever they are in their journey.
Righteousness.
I feel like we're all on a different journey, and we're all at different levels in our journey. And I was trying to explain this to a younger person, and then I realized I had to stop trying to explain it. Because he was in my car, and he's 22, and he was telling me about how he has to be the example for his younger brothers, and he has to tell them, to not be focusing on girls and all this other kind of stuff, and he wants them to do right and to be responsible. And I said, you sound like you're really stressed out trying to make sure that your younger brothers are doing right. And he said, yeah. I said, well, your brothers are on their journey too. You have to teach them and set an example and help them, but you can't drag them by the ears in the direction that you think that they should go, because it's their journey. But I realized what I was saying at his stage in his journey was too much for him to take in and process, so I stopped. But as we're moving along in our personal journeys, we're going to get to different points where we realize and understand certain things that may not have been clear to us 10 years ago. So it's okay for the person that does it for 40 days and then decides to pick up eating chicken, because that's where they are in their journey. And one day their journey will lead them to have that purpose to where they're like, you know what, I'm doing this for me and I'm going to stick with it. And when you reach that point in your journey, well, I will be happy for you, but you're not there yet, and I can't force that. But for you, which is good, you got to a place in your journey where you were like, you know what, no, I'm going to do this for me. And, everybody has to get to that place.
And it was hard, girl, because on that third day, I almost ate a piece of meat.
That's right.
On that third, because they say you're supposed to fast and pray when you start getting a little tempted. I said, Lord, I can't be you.
That's right. That's right.
Now, what I loved about what Simone said is, what I hear is no judgment. And I remember or realized on my journey that I used to judge. And so as I've grown and evolved and learned more about myself, I don't want to be a judge anymore. Because everybody's on their own journey. And so I'm more sensitive and more compassionate to where people are now because of that. And I think the other thing is I went to therapy.
Ooh,
that was my way, right? That was my spiritual awakening, is to go to therapy. I know in our community there's a stigma. We don't really embrace it. We think it's crazy, but it changed my life. And I encourage people, if you are challenged and you're going through something, you can't quite figure it out, be open to the process of therapy, because it can definitely help you get to where you want to be.
Yes, and so now that you said that, that's a great segue. So I should feel ashamed of myself. I should feel ashamed of myself because myself and Erin, we are certified peer specialists here in the state of Georgia, and Erin she's amazing. She leads groups.
I'm also a therapist.
She's a
master's level social worker.
Yes, and she
so,
tell them about, because I mean I wanted to I got somebody I want to connect you with from Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah. So so
yes, I do a lot of individual therapy, and that's why I've also like Nappy Natural Living, because it's my gateway to talk about that as well. Mental health is very, very much a complex in our community, but I think it's why we continuously stay sick, because we don't recognize it and we don't acknowledge it. Therapy to me is awesome. I'm the most unconventional social worker you ever meet when it comes to therapy. We're not going to sit there with no pad, girl, and no paper, and you don't have to sit on no chair. I'll come to wherever you are. But individual therapy is awesome. For that 45 minutes to that hour, you can get to explore and evaluate the things that are going on in your life. Women, it's something we do need to bring attention to, is the importance of therapy. I think it's awesome. And every therapist needs a therapist. Because understand, y'all coming in my office, giving me all of this stuff, I understand I got to dump it on somebody too. Okay?
Yes.
It can't just end with me,
Yes.
It has to go somewhere, So it's important. I'm so happy you said that. And that's where we can collaborate again and do something else. So we got big things in this room. And it's only April, you know what I'm saying? We got a whole lot of year left. But yes, therapy is awesome. I do individual therapy. I do the certified peer specialist. I do that too, bringing awareness to anxiety. I keep on hearing y'all talking about anxiety. Anxiety is very, very big amongst, I feel, this is not nothing that's written in stone, amongst African American women, because we take on so much.
Yes.
Every single day, we do have to be super women. We do have to be entrepreneurs, mothers, and all these things. And in 8 hours, something gonna fall, over time.
Our days is beyond 8 hours.
We stay on ready. Like we wake up on ready.
And that makes you hypervigilant. It keeps you in a hypervigilant state. But at the end of the day, I have learned, just because somebody throws you the ball don't mean you got to catch it. Sometimes you got to
move to the side, girl. You got to let that thing
let
that ball fall down.
You got to let it drop, because when you don't, I get therapy myself, and when you don't have your mental health, you don't have nothing.
Right.
Hair, nails, car, jewelry, none of that matters when you don't have your mental health.
No, but thank you so much for bringing it up. Therapy is important. So if there's someone listening on this radio, if you do need some help, reach out to us and we got you. If I can't help you, I refer you to someone who can. Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. So we're talking about things that we do internally that really kind of help us. And I know, to even speak to what you said, Chanel, I've kind of been through that judgment phase. And I'm still kind of on the fence, because on one hand, one of the things that I do for my friends is I do create a judgment-free zone. At least I try to do that with my son too. It's a work in progress, but on the other hand, when it comes to things that are, I also deal in the activism realm, and sometimes I have to take a position I don't like, and when I'm in those spaces, I'm going to be a little bit judgy. Because to me, your opinions, when they're rooted in stuff that's that are harmful to me, well, you just get the big bird. I don't really care at that point.
Right.
So I'm still trying to master that balance.
Especially with the older generation and the millennials, because it's in the church sector too. You have the women, the 80-year-old women who got the white dresses on and they doing all these things to y'all. And I think one time I slipped up. Can we cuss on here?
Of course.
Okay. Because the old lady, she was being really, really not nice to y'all, because the little girl had on like a little tight dress. It was a little fitted, and just kind of being extra. And before I knew, I'm in church now. Before I knew, I leaned over and said, "Girl, you ain't a hoe if you ain't lived. If you ain't never been a hoe, you ain't lived." And and we done all had a time in our life, girl. When we done did some secular things, honey. That you know that we getting off. Right. We have to be okay with this. So even with judging, we have to create to build a bridge this gap we got going on. We have to work on that. It's not easy.
No.
But we have to work on that judge-free zone. We do.
Yes.
We do.
And that's transparency and honesty and vulnerability because we all have a story.
Right.
So I'm unapologetic today because of my story. Because of that moment in time in my life when I was not my best. I was making mistakes and dating the wrong people and making the wrong decisions. And so that gave power to my today. But we have to tell the story so that people can learn and know it's okay. Where you are today is absolutely okay. It's okay if you don't have it figured out.
You know, that was the hardest thing in life for me to accept, that I was enough and that I was okay.
That's right.
Yes, this was very much needed.
Very much
to
needed.
get together and just, speak on the things that you love talking about.
And
you
I
know,
met
that,
four
that
new
excites
people,
you, that you're
girl.
passionate about. Right?
I got
Right.
more friends today. I got people what I'm doing because we got an event coming up at 3 o'clock with her. And just all kind of other good things.
Yes, that's the 22nd. That's next Sunday.
Okay.
That's next Sunday.
Awesome.
But yeah, and did you say Tony Jackson? He has more information.
She does, but I'll go ahead and just share it. I don't think she's on anymore, but I'll go ahead and share for next week. So again, it's next Sunday, the 22nd, 3 to 6 at the Doubletree Hotel, 4156 La Vista Road in Tucker, Georgia. And for more information, you can contact Keisha Perry at 678-856-0524.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean that's so needed on so many levels, and I think there's so much that we can accomplish if we accomplish it together. And take all the talents that we have. Yes. Earlier you mentioned about how the black dollar stays in our community for 6 hours.
6 hours.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to break. We're going to come back from break and wrap up. More Dynamics of Dialogue.
You're listening to BNX.
IBNXradio.com. Awesome song.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music. Hey, what's up? It's Jay-Z.
Hey, I'm Mariah Carey.
Hey, it's Katy Perry.
It's your boy T.I.P., man. Get in. It's your boy Sean Kingston.
What's up, y'all? I'm Beyonce.
This is Nicki Minaj, and I'm in the mix with
IBNX Radio.
Welcome to Dynamics of Dialogue. I am your hostess with the mostest, Rebel Queen, along with my co-host, Deliberately and Free to Love. We are all about stimulating intellectual conversation with a little bit of hood-rich reality in it. Come join us every Sunday from 1 to 3 on IBNXRadioNetwork.com. Welcome back to Dynamics of Dialogue. Listen, we have had an incredibly amazing show today. I'm in the room with some extremely powerful sisters, and I'm telling you, we had a ball. And if you missed it, I'm sorry. You're going to have to catch the replay on YouTube, our Facebook page, Official DFD. But before we get out of here, I'm going to have everybody give their social media information because you got to find them. I want you to follow each and every one of these ladies because I'm telling you, if you don't, you're going to miss out on something big. Go ahead, Erin. Give out your social media again.
Erin Robertson. Follow me on Instagram. Nappy Naturally. Nappie Naturally. Nappy Naturally.
All right, Chanel Williams, Dream Life Coaching. Not on Instagram, but I do have a website, www.adreamlifecoaching.com, and I can be reached at 470-231-5433.
All righty.
And I have a fashion line, and it is The Goddess Life, THE_GXDDESSLIFE.
All righty. Simone?
All right, it's Simone and Chrissy. We have our podcast. It's going to be dropping May 1st, so check us out. You can find us in the iTunes store. You can find us in the Play Store, or you could download Podbean and look us up. It's going to be Open Door Conversations. And then we have a spinoff motivational line. It's called Creative Motifs. Look it up. It's spelled CR8, TIVEMOTIFS.com, creativemotifs.com.
Listen, I hope you all enjoyed today's show because we're going to do it again. The last Sunday of this month, we're going to have Sister Circle Sunday, and I'm going to have some more amazing sisters in the studio, and we're going to really do it big. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Official DFD. Check us out again every Sunday. Get you some DFD.